Belgian Prime Minister Charles Michel has offered his resignation, just days after one of his main coalition partners quit in a row over migration. Mr. Michel lost the backing of the nationalist New Flemish Alliance NVA over his support for a migration bill signed in Marrakech last week. His move follows angry demonstrations in Brussels against the United Nations Pact. Mr. Michel has told King Philippe of his decision. The king has yet to announce whether he will accept the resignation. Mr. Michel
42
took office in October 2018 after forming a right-wing coalition, becoming at 38 the country's youngest prime minister since 1841. He announced his intention to resign on Tuesday following a debate in Parliament in which opposition parties refused calls to support his minority government, while Belgium was due to go to the polls next May. His decision now raises the possibility of early elections. Mr. Michel had previously defended the Marrakech Migration Pact, saying it presented an opportunity for better European and international cooperation. The deal, which is not legally binding, seeks an international approach to migration that reaffirms the sovereign rights of states to determine their national migration policy and asserts the fundamental importance of legal migration. But critics in Europe believe it will lead to increased immigration to the continent. In July, 196 members agreed the Global Compact for safe, orderly and regular migration. It was signed by 164 countries, with the United States on the number of European states including Austria, Hungary, Italy, Poland, and Slovakia, refusing to formally adopt the agreement. Over the weekend, thousands of demonstrators marched in Brussels against the pact. Police deployed tear gas and water cannon as clashes broke out. A counter-protest organized by left-wing groups and charities in the city center drew about 1,000 people. Two Scandinavian women tourists have been found dead in Morocco, with cords to their necks, the country's interior ministry said. Both bodies were found near the town of Imlil, in the high Atlas mountain range, near the foot of North Africa's highest peak, Mount Toubkal. The women, from Denmark and Norway respectively, have not yet been named. A police investigation has been launched into their deaths, the Interior Ministry statement said. A poacher has been ordered to watch the Disney film Bambi repeatedly after he was convicted of illegally killing hundreds of deer. Missouri hunter David Perry Jr. must view the film at least once a month during his year-long sentence. He was arrested in August along with two family members for killing the deer, taking their heads and leaving their bodies to rot. Prosecutors said it is reportedly one of the biggest poaching cases in Missouri history, on top of the jail sentence of the illegal deer hunting. Judge Robert George ordered Barry Jr. to view the Walt Disney movie Bambi, with the first viewing being on or before December 23,
2018
and at least one such viewing each month thereafter. During his spell in prison, the 1942 cartoon about woodland creatures shows a hunter kill the mother of eponymous deer character Bambi. The months-long investigation, spanning several states, led to the arrest of Barry Jr., his father David Barry, Sr., and his brother Kyle Barry, according to a local newspaper, the Springfield News-Leader. While the total number of deer taken illegally is unknown, Lawrence County's conservation agent, Andy Barton, said it could be several hundred. Barry Jr. received a year-long sentence in Lawrence County Prison after pleading guilty to illegally taking wildlife. He has also been sentenced to a 1-to-0-day term in Barton County Prison for a firearms probation violation. and both he and his father had their hunting privileges revoked for life by the Missouri Conservation Commission. Two Scandinavian women tourists have been found dead in Morocco, with cords to their necks, the country's interior ministry said. Both bodies were found near the town of Imlil in the High Atlas mountain range, near the foot of North Africa's highest peak, Mount Toubkal. The women, from Denmark and Norway respectively, have not yet been named. A police investigation has been launched into their deaths, the Interior Ministry statement said. The US military says it has killed 62 fighters from the Islamist group al-Shabab in 6 airstrikes in Somalia. 5 airstrikes on Saturday killed 32 militants, and a further 2 on Sunday killed 28. It said in a statement. These were the deadliest air attacks in Somalia since November 2017, when the United States said it had killed 100 militants. Somalia has seen a sharp increase in the number of airstrikes and casualties since President Donald Trump took office in the United States in January 2017. A tally by the Bureau of Investigative Journalism reveals that at least 400 people have been killed in airstrikes since the beginning of 2017, far more than the previous 10 years combined. The latest strikes bring to at least 40 the number carried out in Somalia so far this year, compared with 35 recorded in 2017. The United States has a huge military base in neighboring Djibouti, from where it launches attacks on the militants. Mr. Trump gave the US military greater authority in March
2017
to attack militants in Somalia. Traditionally, United States presidents have been wary of intervening in Somalia since ATN Special Forces soldiers died fighting militias in the capital Mogadishu in 1993, a battle dramatized in the film Black Hawk Down. No civilians were killed in the latest airstrikes, which were carried out in coordination with the Somali government, the US military said. Alongside our Somali and international partners, we are committed to preventing al-Shabab from taking advantage of safe havens from which they can build capacity and attack the people of Somalia. The United States Africa Command said al-Shabab, which is linked to al-Qaeda, has not yet commented on the latest strikes. Somalia-based security think tank the Higher Institute said in a report published in November that al-Shabab had been forced to change tactics following the upsurge in airstrikes. The institute said the group was now conducting fewer mass attacks on military bases, but attacks on government offices and businesses which refused to pay its taxes had increased markedly. The United States State Department, in its most recent report on terrorism, described Somalia as a terrorist safe haven, and said al-Shabab remained a threat. Despite suffering setbacks, the group retained control over large parts of the country, and the ability to carry out high-profile attacks using suicide bombers, explosive devices, mortars, and small arms. The report added, a poacher has been ordered to watch the Disney film Bambi repeatedly after he was convicted of illegally killing hundreds of deer. Missouri hunter David Barry, Jr., must view the film at least once a month during his year-long sentence. He was arrested in August, along with 2 family members, for killing the deer, taking their heads and leaving their bodies to rot. Prosecutors said it is reportedly one of the biggest poaching cases in Missouri history. On top of the jail sentence for the illegal deer hunting, Judge Robert George ordered Barry Jr. to view the Walt Disney movie Bambi, with the first viewing being on or before December 23,
2018
and at least one such viewing each month thereafter. During his spell in prison, The 1940 Toubkal cartoon about woodland creatures shows a hunter killed the mother of eponymous deer character Bambi. The months-long investigation, spanning several states, led to the arrest of Barry, his father David Perry Sr., and his brother Kyle Perry, according to local newspaper the Springfield News-Leader. While the total number of deer taken illegally is unknown, Lawrence County's conservation agent, Andy Barton, said it could be several hundred. Perry Jr. received a year-long sentence in Lawrence County Prison after pleading guilty to illegally taking wildlife. He has also been sentenced to a 1-to-0-day term in Barton County Prison for a firearms probation violation, and both he and his father had their hunting privileges revoked for life by the Missouri Conservation Commission. A popular tourist attraction has become the latest Chinese company to show solidarity with Huawei's chief finance officer.